Wow, I've never heard that before. Welcome to Tuesday Training with Onyx and Sheila. It is May 25th, 2021. This month is just wailing out the door. We have got a special guest for you today. Miss Onyx does not appear to be able to come in. She has something going on. She was going to try to pop by and say hello, but we will see how that goes. And today we are continuing our presidential interview series. And this week's special guest, I am so proud and honored to present to you Mr. Peter Ngo, Senior Presidential. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this morning.
That's right. And Peter, I remember over a year ago when we started all of the Zoom calls and stuff, and you and I would kick it around in the afternoons. And I know you are still doing that. What is it now? 5 days a week you guys have the afternoon, or are you doing four? Five
5 days for the afternoon and 1 day training.
and 1 day training. So anybody on this phone call, anybody who has distributors in their downline, Peter has 6 calls a week that you guys could be learning from. Okay. So, Peter, what we got going on here is that I get to ask you questions, and we are going to learn from you through your answers how we can support our teams and make our business successful. How does that sound to you?
Sounds like a ready Tuesday morning for me.
That is wonderful. So, my first question for you, Peter, is please, can you teach us what you do to invite someone into the X39 business, into your business? How do you do that?
Okay, that's a really open-ended question. And the reason why I say that is because I believe the number one thing in network marketing or to be in this industry is you have to know how to make friends. If you don't know how to make friends, I can't teach you how to make friends. Okay. And if I can't teach you how to make friends, no one can teach you how to make friends. So I believe everybody that joins this industry now, we have to take our mindset back to when we're in high school or in our college days, meaning that you just be so free and open and learn how to make friends and have fun. And because we're now in an adult stage, we're all transitioning, meaning that if you want to be in this industry, you're transitioning to do business. And again, the definition of business is simply helping someone's life to become better, but now in a mature way. But the only challenge, I believe, is because we're adults now, we don't have the environment to meet so many new people anymore, like the way we did in our college days, in our high school days, in our university days, right? And because you're always surrounded by the same people in your environment, this industry does push you to be uncomfortable because you have to go make new friends. So I've in my whole life, I was a barber. I've always been surrounded by people. I've always it's easy for me to talk to people. So it's not about just inviting people to my business, but it's really, who do I want to hang out with? Who do I see building a future with? Who do I feel committed to as a friend, right? So we always take care of our best friends, our friends first. We would do things for them first. So I always wonder, why do we talk to people that we don't want to work with? I always wonder why we go all this way to recruit people or bring people in our business that we don't have anything in common with. So I think everybody here, when you hear my trainings, you always hear me say, always work with people or recruit people that are like you or that are better than you. Better than you, not meaning better as a person, but better meaning that they might have a better environment, like a network. They have a different environment, a different sphere of influence. And because it's not about you recruiting that person, it's really you, when you work with that person, who are they going to recruit, or who are they going to sponsor? So if they don't know how to make friends, obviously, and you know how to make friends, but you're recruiting someone who doesn't know how to make friends, how can that person really succeed? Because you can't teach that person how to make a friend. So to answer that question is, I bring people on really simple by just piquing their interest. But the first thing I want to know is, can they be my friend?
That is almost mind blowing. Okay, for me, because I've never ever really honestly looked at it in that manner, and I love that. Who do I want to hang out with? Thank you for that piece, Peter. That is really important. So my next question for you. Let me see. I'm going to mix them all up because people were getting the questions and getting them writing down answers, and I'm a crazy girl like that. I don't want to do that. I want off your cuff. You've just signed a brand new silver in the business. What are you going to do to help them next?
All right. Well, I think everybody here with a raise a hand has been on our podcast, right? So these podcasts is really designed to break the ice, okay? Meaning that it's designed for you to take the responsibilities away from you as a brand new distributor. Because as a brand new distributor in the industry, it's like going to the gym and you don't know which uh, gym workout equipment to use to build which muscle. So when you get on a podcast, it really helps you break the ice. It really gets you comfortable. When you hear people, when you hear testimonials, it builds your confidence and belief. When you hear Marcy, Dr. Harmon, Savi, anyone who explains it to how the technology work in the simplest terms, it really kind of absorbs into you and you don't have to physically train. So the one thing why our teams are growing so fast is because we don't train you. We hold your hand and guide you, right? So I want to guide people. So when I first signed up a silver, obviously there was a couple more steps before they came in as a silver. But when I commit to someone, it's like I'm your workout buddy, okay? And that's why I don't, I guess, give my time or energy away to people that are not like me or better than me because I cannot work out with you. So I want everybody on this call to really think, if you're going to commit to working out with someone, you're going to build muscles together. So now you came in with the silver package. That's like you just bought a gym membership. Now, what is the first thing I want to do? I want to take you to the gym. I want to introduce you to all the gym members. I want to show you who's brand new, and I want to show you who's been in the gym for a couple of months, and I want to show you who's been in the gym for a couple of years. And how do you know who has the bigger muscles? It's the one that has the most amount of people in the organization. That's how you can relate muscles to people. So my first step is I really, really find out how much time can they give me, okay, first. But when you can give me the time, and everybody here knows our whole 6-day podcast system, if you add it all up, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, and a 1 hour training, it's literally 3.5 hours of online gym training. That means in that 3.5 hours a week, if that person cannot give me the 3.5 hours, or if they can give me 3.5 hours, okay, we're working out. But first things first, we're going to work out online together in the gym, because the first, second, third week, or the first 30 days, I want my person to be so comfortable that they're learning with or without me. They're going to the gym with or without me, right? But then when they have my time, meaning that they're going to rely on me to help me coach them one-on-one, that means I'm giving them my full attention, but they're not going to ask questions that they can find out on themselves, meaning on startx39.com, on the podcast, everything that we know how to use the tools is already created. When they come to me, then when we work together, we're really hands-on training specific things that they might be, they might not have, okay? Like maybe a certain way of how to present to someone, maybe a certain way how to do the 3-3-1s, right? So to answer that question is, first thing I do, get on a podcast for a couple of weeks, okay? Really absorb that. From there, we go to the startx39biz.com and really go through the getting started checklist, which is the first tab. I really want to get to know the person inside out. And in the beginning, when we started, remember, Sheila, we didn't know anything. We just got a diamond pack, pop, 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 pop. We just patched everyone, right? And because the product worked so fast, because it was really so simple, I only talked to the people that really came back to me. I didn't even have time to talk to the people that kind of got lost in a crack somewhere, right? And I didn't even go through my whole Rolodex. So I really want everyone to know, like, speed, or what we did before was really, we learned through the errors, but there was really no error because we just really, we just learn as we go, and we created the system as we go. But as of today, I truly believe when I enroll someone and when you enroll someone, you have to make sure, can you give that person 1 to 2 hours a week? And what are you going to do together, right? And don't put too much responsibility on that brand new person, okay? It's kind of like dating, you kind of date each other first, and then you get to know each other, and then sooner or later you're going to date more, and then one day you become boyfriend and girlfriend, right? Because you like it, you like each other. Same thing here. And especially I love the workout analogy, because how many people here have ever been to the gym, bought a gym membership, and a month or two later never went back to the gym again? Or how many people know people like that? That happens a lot in this business, right? Sometimes you sponsor someone, you get so excited, and then all of a sudden, but then a week, a month or two later, you can't call them, or they're gone, right? What happened there? Nothing. Life got in to happen. Just life happened. That's all, right? Sometimes people feel like they will put on too much responsibilities. They don't want to let you down. So instead of communicating, they kind of like shy away a little bit because they didn't meet your expectation, because you sometimes overtrain too much or expected too much. So when I come in, again, my beginning is I'll make friends with you. You're my friend. We have that commitment. Now we have commitments to each other. What is our commitment? My commitment is I'm on that the podcast 3.5 hours a week, because that's my commitment to my team. That's my commitment to my business. That's how I know I'm constantly learning and growing and keeping my knowledge up and my muscles. I'm literally going out and work out 3.5 hours a week. My mental is everything as one. When my team sees me do that, or when I personally enroll my partners and they see me work out with or without them, that's duplication. Now, when they want to do it, because I know their time schedule, because we went through the getting started checklist, I know exactly what they need to learn. Then we can go through all the videos, and here you go. Watch the 3-3-1 Ask Share Give. That's your next homework. Why? Because if you don't watch the 3-3-1 Ask Share Give, you don't know which dumbbell to pick up, and you don't know which muscle to work out with. So then I don't want to confuse or have my brand new partner get lost or make any mistakes that could be avoided by just learning the basics right in the beginning. So that's how I start off all my silvers or any package they come in with. And I'm like, Onyx, come in with whatever you fit in, okay? It does not matter what package, because if you understand the stair step, or if you know that we can always upgrade, and this is what I love about LifeWave. LifeWave's compensation plan and their whole structure is no pressure, okay? As you can see that, okay? David Schmidt just wants to help and wants to bring in everyone. And you can tell that by the way that he packaged it, by the way that the culture is built, and even by the senior presidential rank. If everybody noticed that, it only takes 200,000 volume. I don't want to say only, but it takes 200,000 volume on a monthly basis to reach the highest level in the company. I've never seen that before, because every company, they require at least 500,000 to 1 million to 2 million points to be the top. So what did that tell me about David? David wants everyone to enjoy the leadership. He wants 1,000 people to be senior presidential directors instead of 20 people in a company. So there really is no special treatment here. It's just we're all together as one, right? You can earn your way, you can stair step your way. Doesn't matter if it takes 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2, 3 years. We all, again, have different environments, but this gym that we created in this company that has the right culture behind it is here just to make you a better you. So I hope everybody here on this call, as you just, get turned on by the patch and you start really getting out of your comfort zone, you have to become a better version of you. And I share this a lot in my training, where always look at yourself for where you are every 90 days. Every 3 months, you can know that your body is changing every 90 days. Know that your mindset is changing every 90 days. Know that your skill level is moving up every 90 days. But what we cannot do for you is change your friends or your environment every 90 days. You have to change that for yourself. So if you don't like what happened in the last 90 days, change it, identify it, really break it down. And I think because of this program, you can really identify that. And if not, call me. I'll help you identify that for you. Okay, it's very, very easy to understand how to assess your life or where you are today. And obviously last year, right, Sheila, we've been locked down. Everybody had the chance to really go deeper into themselves, find out, discover more about themselves. I think I'm like a chameleon now. Every 90 days, my whole mind, what I see is different, but I'm still the same Peter. Everybody still knows me. Okay. But the things that are changing is my health and my wealth. And that's our message, really. And when I say wealth, notice that we don't talk about money here, because we're not posturing. We're not here to posture to people, right? But when I say wealth, is what is your level of success, right? Have you ever made $100 in this industry before residually? If you did, let's go learn how to make $200, right? And if you know how to make $200 residually, how does that feel? Is that above your success? If you already made more than you ever made before, congratulations, you just succeeded, right? You have to understand that. But sometimes, many programs or this industry does not appreciate those little successes, because they're forcing you, or they're putting so much responsibility on a brand new distributor to do so many things that we kind of overlook that sometimes. And I'm kind of going deep in this because I get the chance to talk to you this morning.
You get a chance.
Yeah.
Well, Peter, you hit on a couple of really amazing things that many of the people, I think, some of the people in this call today were right there beside us. We didn't grow up with startx39biz.com. We didn't grow up with StartX39. That was you and Marcy. That first, I remember getting the phone call, hey, this is coming, we're doing this. And there was so much excitement. And it was like, wow, we actually have a focused point to funnel people into. And that's really part of the magic about what has been created for this team here. The other thing is, when you said we're all together now, I just keep hearing the Beatles singing that now. All together now. And we are, right? Catherine's got it. She knows it. So that was some really wonderful words of wisdom, Peter. Thank you for that. Now, okay, now we're going to go a little bit backwards. What's your favorite way to close somebody, either as a preferred customer or as a distributor? Your favorite way. Okay, it doesn't have to be the specific pattern every time that you use, but what's the favorite thing that you like to do to get people to come on board with you?
That's a really good question. And I believe everyone on this call right now is probably thinking, what is the last thing Peter says, right? To close someone. I believe that it's kind of like, again, like dating. If somebody wanted to date you already, they already wanted to date you on the first word, not the last word. Okay, I'll repeat that again.
Wow.
If somebody was already interested in you, they already probably like the way you look, like your smile, like that you're funny. Maybe you might be short or tall, whatever. They already liked you in the beginning. So you already closed them already in the beginning. Okay. So
Wow.
there's nothing you
That's
can say
mind
in the
blowing,
end.
Peter. It's
Huh?
truth, though. It's so true. I mean, because if you turned somebody off in that very first instant, what happened right there to your rapport?
And that's why I say, like, doesn't matter what you're selling either. If someone don't like you, they're not going to do business with you, period. So I, that's why I say, learn how to make friends. What does it take to be a friend today? Especially in today's times, because we're living in such a world of fear, or there's been so much different mindsets or different, perceptions put upon us today. But at the end of the day, the real human love, or the real people that are coming out, I believe, this picture with Judy, she knows this is the lion. And I really believe the lions are coming out. The true lions are coming out. And people can feel that. Yeah, people can feel that. People know if you're leading people in today's times. If you're afraid, we can totally see it. Are you going to work? I'm going to ask everybody here. Are you going to work with someone who's afraid? No. Are they going to lead you to the promised land or lead you to what your goals and your solutions are? No. So when I come with someone, though, even the word stem cells already closed you. If you don't like the word stem cells, we got nothing to talk about. Let's go have a coffee then. Let's go have some tea. Let's go talk about the weather and the life, right? But if I'm coming to you, if I'm like, hey, Sheila, what's up? Long time no see. You know what? Let's catch up. I thought about you. I know you're in Hawaii, how life is over there. But Sheila, I discovered something, right? I discovered something really so big in the health world. And I know your health. What do you know about stem cells? Boom. That right there should have closed you already. And then the rest is just, again, give
Hold
me
on
one
one second,
second.
Peter. Somebody is
It's
unmuted here. Oh, I think I found
Carolyn.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's literally, once you pique someone's interest, you cannot even mess it up. The only way you mess it up, again, is we're teaching you this. You cannot oversell, over convince, and overtrain and over anything. You just got to go with the flow. And that's why the system, the 3-3-1, once you pique their interest, you share with them the video, you shared your story, you followed up, you went to the podcast, that all those 3 steps closed you already. The next step is, hey, Judy, where would you like your package, and what wholesale package would you like?
Okay. Wow. See, Peter has a totally different approach. And that's why we're doing this series, is because we want, not everyone is the same as Peter. Not everyone is the same as Beanie or Onyx or Bob and Amy. Every person has a different personality. And what we're presenting these presidentials for you is to say, oh my gosh, that's how I act. I'm going to start modeling their behavior. And when Peter, I love that you talk about being better than you were and checking in that 90-day cycle. It's actually called the physiology of excellence.
Mm.
And the point is to just be better than you were yesterday. Okay. And if you can take a look at night when you go to bed, before you go to bed, and turn around and say, wow, I was better than I was yesterday because I made that one more phone call, or I sent that person to Zoom today and I haven't been sending people to Zoom. Whatever that one step is. And the other really incredibly wonderful aspect, Peter, that you shared is celebrate it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you picked up that phone and said for the first time, hey, what do you know about stem cells? Get off that phone and go, oh my God, I celebrate it because I did it, right? I mean, when I first met Peter, I wasn't even using the phone. I wouldn't talk to
Wow.
people on the phone. No,
But
I didn't like it. I didn't dig it at all. I had a year of lockdown to change my mind and find a new way. So search your way out. And Peter's way is pretty darn amazing for him. It's been amazing to watch you grow, Peter, and I've really been honored to see
uh,
it.
you know,
Okay.
I'll leave. I forgot to leave this out too. The 331. I mean, everyone here. The definition of business is helping someone's life to become better. If you literally love those three people that you're calling, even with no agenda, no outcome, no nothing, don't you feel like you've done something today? Don't you feel like you've shared information today? And whether you do it 3 times a week, 5 days a week, it doesn't matter. If you change that one person's life that week, if that one person just say, yes, I'll take a sample. Yes, I'll patch. Yes, I'll get on a podcast, right? Just celebrate and appreciate those little three things. And Sheila, in the beginning, when the lockdown happened, all my mind was thinking like, how do we expose this? How do we really do this? And that's why I was like, wow, we have to do this webinar. But then how can our team grow without us being physically there? We have to connect us together as one. So, I've learned how to be softer through Onyx because I was a hardcore. I mean, everyone, like, you don't see me talk numbers, but my past life, I was a chalkboard guy. I'll draw numbers all day long for you till we go to sleep, but I don't like that anymore. I'm not a numbers guy anymore. I really learned from Onyx. You don't need to know those stuff, okay? But what you need to know is the behaviors, really behaviors. And I really dig on that now. And I can see that when I can see someone that doesn't have that behavior that is like me or better than me, then I know that maybe I don't need to convince or put more time because I still got 3 other people or 2 other people I need to call that they can appreciate my time. So again, learn boundaries, learn your own boundaries, okay? Learn if you're gonna build a team, right? Or a bodybuilding team, and you only have, this is, I think, the hardest question for everyone. If you can physically look at our whole podcast, and I want everyone tonight, tomorrow, I want you to look at everybody's picture and I want you to pick out your favorite 6 people in the whole team. How hard would that be? Because we have 60 or 100 people that you want to work with. But how hard would it be for you to pick your favorite 6 people? Because really the magic number here in this whole compensation plan is you just have to have 6 workout buddies with you. 6 active people, 3 on your left, 3 on your right. That's the whole comp plan. 3 on your left, 3 on your right, active. That means they're paying their gym membership. They're going to the gym. Out of those 6 partners, to reach to the top of the compensation plan, to be the top of this company, you have to find 2 bodybuilders that are going with or without you to work out. When you accomplish that, whether it takes you 3 months, 6 months, a year, it does not matter anymore. You know the numbers in your mind. So the hardest part for me is really picking my 6 top leaders. I enrolled 45 people here. Out of the 45 people, I think 5 are already presidential directors. That means I know who is my bodybuilders. Now, once they're done, like they're already on their way, I'm done now. Now, my job is to develop another 6 bodybuilders this year, right? So again, we're in a developing business. We're literally in the motivation, inspiration, influencing business, right? So this system is really to develop you no matter where you are in your life, but you have to, again, you and your enroller have to make that commitment to each other. Are you one of my 6? And if you are, let's go. If you don't have 6, get the first one. You always got to start with the 1 first, because if you don't know how to get the 1, there's no number 2, okay? You got to learn how to develop your first one. How did you get there? So go with that. But the magic number, everyone, is 6 and 2. 3 on your left, 3 on your right. And then out of those 6, identify your one-on-one, your two bodybuilders that are constantly going with or without you. How do I know? I can tell everyone that's on the podcast whose team has the most people on that podcast. Trust me, they're making the most amount of money. They have the most amount of people in their team because their teams are watching them every day, who's showing up. Okay. And it's really that simple, but it's really that hard to change that mindset to get there.
Okay. That is amazing, Peter. You are just, I'm going to say it, a fount of knowledge. And one, I have a couple of things. One, um, I think you need to, this is an aside note, okay? I've been married for 38 years in a month and a half, man. And
Wow.
and I ain't been dating for over 40. Okay. So when you talk about dating, it flies over my head. So, for some of us old fogies, I think you need to throw another metaphor in there for us too. But
I'll find
you're
one.
okay, okay. Some of us are just, that way. But something important that I'd love for you to touch on for me. I know that when and just by your excitement of talking about your six people, you're really about building the business. But I do know that when we all get that patch for the first time, most of us, not every person, but most of us, we receive it or we order it because it's for our health, right? And so, how do you, um, okay, so I just signed up underneath you, but I'm just in it for health. How are you going to support me? Is there, do you have the patience to nurture someone that is a preferred customer and you see them changing or they contact you? Um, what do you do in your down tree to support that?
That's a really good question. And it's a very simple answer
Okay.
because I have so much time, because I don't waste time with the wrong people. I know who the right people are, whether you're a customer or a partner.
And so, will you have, I mean, you have just customers or you have people that are in your downline that are not building, correct?
Of course, I have tons. I mean, and then again, I just so there's only a certain amount of time again because of the system. Remember, it's only 3.5 hours. What do you do with the rest of the 35 hours in a week that you have? You got so much time left to talk to people, right? Nurture people, uh, develop even more. So what I've learned is I'm really working with leaders. I work with pods, meaning that I only do 30-minute webinars for their team. But if I have a customer or someone that needs more attention, and I just follow up with them. Hey, Lisa, you know what? I know you ordered this. Thank you so much. You're going to enjoy this. The only thing that you can do here is if you want to learn, here's the schedule for the podcast. Plug in anytime. And after you plug in, if you have any questions, text me. Okay.
I love it. I love it. Now, here's the next big question, okay? How do you keep track of your prospects and team? And if it's like it used to be, I'm expecting you to hold something up.
Well, so I'll give everybody, you go through phases in your career, just like you go through phases in your college days. You go through semesters, right? So I'm in a different phase today than I was obviously a year ago or a year and a half ago, right? So everybody here, you have to assess where you are at. Now, this is again the 3-3-1. If you're constantly talking to 3 people a day for 3 days a week, that is 9 people that you are contacting, communicating, and building a relationship with. Do that for 4 weeks. That is 36 people, Sheila, in a month. Out of
How do you
36
keep
people,
track of that?
you don't, because those 36 people have to identify themselves because you plug them into the system when they call you. So out of the 36 people, if 6 to 9 people are constantly calling you, Sheila, I need help. What do I do next? Sheila, I need to learn this workout equipment. Tell me how many reps do I need to do? Get it? They will identify themselves for you. They will call you. That's the people that you work with because they're like you and better than you. Now, if they don't call you, that means they must be busy. That means it doesn't really meet their interest that much for them to give time. So obviously they're a glorified customer. We love customers, but customers do not need the attention like a bodybuilder. A customer a customer basically is someone who bought an online gym. They're not going to a live gym. They just want to show up when they want to show up. They're just using the product, but they're not asking questions about building or anything until they're
Wow. Oh,
ready.
did you freeze? Oh, okay.
Until they're ready, right? Now, why do I have all my customers get on the podcast? Because what if that one word, that one testimonial, that one presenter clicked in their mind, or that one testimony does something, and then they're like, oh my gosh, Sheila, I heard something on Tuesday with Dr. Harmon, and I heard this lady, and I resonated with her. I know someone who has this, and if that helps that person, I think I want to kind of get more involved. That's what you want to hear from your customers, okay? And even your distributors, your partners. You have to make the initiative. They have to make the initiative, because again, if you're doing 3-3-1s, 3, 4, 5 days a week, you will have too many people. You will have a pool of people already in front of you. The hardest job is balancing out your time to make sure that you're not you're not doing too much, or you're not balanced in your life. So that's why I really have a set schedule, and I call it my breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? I know exactly how many hours in breakfast time, how many hours in lunchtime or dinner time I need to work. So I'll give everybody a really good kind of like a timeline. If you just give this business 3 hours a day, really a good 3 hours a day, okay? An hour in the morning, an hour in the afternoon, and an hour in the evening, right? And I like to do, if you're going to do the 3-3-1, call people, do it in the morning. Ask your 3 people in the morning between 9 to 12 or something, right? And then once you get that going, then follow up, do your follow-ups between 12 to 6. So you got 6 hours to follow up with all those people you asked a couple of days before. And then from 6 o'clock, what do? That's our webinar time. That's our podcast time. That's your business time right there. So your job is to ask someone in the morning, follow up with them in the afternoon, get them on a call in the evening. If you can rinse and repeat that every day, an hour a day, 2 hours a day, half an hour, whatever. I just work in half an hour pods. I don't do more, I don't do less, okay? Now, there are people that you enrolled. There are people that you sponsored. How do you know how to work with them? They have to call you. Makes sense? I'm giving everyone the power here. You already doing your job by showing up, okay? Your team just needs to see you show up. Now, if you have that commitment and a conversation with each other, hey, Judy, you're new here. I'm going to work with you. How many hours can you give this business? That's on the getting started checklist. Really, that getting started checklist, you already know exactly what's going on in that person's life, right? That's for you to get really intimate and understand each other and what is the commitment. Then from there, okay, Judy, this is what I do every day. This is what we're going to do. You plug in here. I know exactly where you are. When you need any questions or you need anything, you text me and call me right away if you're stuck on something. That is my commitment. That is me as your bodybuilder. If you can't lift the 50-pound, I'm here to spot you, right? That is all that the partner needs to know, that you're there for them only when they reach out. But I'm teaching you independent. If you look at our title, we're called independent distributors. We're not called dependent distributors. The problem is before I was not taught that, and I thought I had to be doing everything for the partner distributor, which is wrong, because then you're making them dependent. And then you as a leader, if you're a good enroller and I sponsor 20 people, how can I take care of 20 people? It's impossible, especially if you're in a wrong compensation plan, like a unilevel. At least in a binary, we can all really support each other. But imagine enrolling 20 people on a unilevel, 20 people wide, and you have to help each one of them one level at a time. That's crazy now. So I was in the unilevel for 15 years. So I know exactly the behaviors. I know exactly what you have to do. And it just burns people out. And when you get burned out, you're not having fun. If you're not having fun, ain't nobody around you is having fun. So that's the business stops right there.
That is so funny, Peter. I'm smiling deeply because when you said the multi-level, I have my Young Living and my doTERRA essential oil businesses. No one ever trained me how to do it, and I have
Nope.
100 people in a flat line, horizontal. Just imagine if I had learned how to been building that, could have been, a big shot in the oil world. Um, okay, so back to that question originally when I asked it to you. So do you still have the book that you have every single day written your stuff down in? And do you still use that? And it looks like you froze.
Yes. Am I
Oh, there
freezing or are you freezing?
we were all freezing maybe, but you're back. Are you there? He's kind of freezing. There, I saw
Okay,
you
we're both
move.
freezing. Okay.
There
I'll
you
look at
go.
you.
So,
Okay.
do you still have the book that you wrote? Because it was huge, and do you have it with you to share, or is that in a different space?
Oh, it's in a different space, but
Okay.
everyone, I just have a calendar. It has from 7 a.m. to obviously 7 p.m. And what do I circle? 9 a.m., 12 p.m., 6 p.m. I know exactly every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I love looking at the frozen screen and laughing when people get stuck in funny positions. Just saying.
He's a perfect lion, isn't he?
My
He's
week
got
is already scheduled. Oh, let me see. Let's see if I
we
get
can
a
hear you
better.
now. Yes.
Okay.
Karen, I'm not cruel. I bet everybody on this show laughs when people freeze on their screen. I know I do because usually I'm the one and I'm going like this. Peter, we love you.
No. I think I can get in now. I think we're good. Can you hear me now?
Okay, there you go.
Okay, good. But I don't think you can see me, right?
We can see you.
Okay, so here you go. Bam. You see the schedule? 30 minute, 30 minute, 30 minute, 30 minute, 30 minute, 30 minute, 30 minute. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All this is just 30-minute spurts. You saw that, right, Sheila?
I did. And
Okay.
so that is what Peter has been using since I first met him. So for I know that many people in here say, how do you track your people? How do you do your he uses a calendar, an actual physical calendar book. And I know that many people would rather do it on Google or whatever floats your boat. Use that, right, Peter? And make your schedule. Okay.
Yeah,
So, last question that's official, and then we'll have just a couple of minutes to take a few questions. What's
awesome.
your favorite book?
My favorite book. Do you want me to be? I'll be very transparent.
Be real. Just tell us the real thing, okay? Whether it's science fiction, business, whatever. What's your favorite book?
I have not read a book probably in the last 2 years, 3 years. I'm a visual. I listen. I listen to things. So my last thing I think that I listened to is, let me think. Let me share that Audible.
Well, they count. If you're listening to a book, that's countable, okay?
I so I'm a money. I I'm listening to right now. Stack silver, get gold. And
Did you
the
hear that?
reason, stack silver,
Stack
get
silver,
gold.
get gold. I had to tell my husband. He's been into that too, Peter. You know that.
Now, but I do understand now. In before, I mean, if you're gonna see my favorite book, obviously is Outwitting the Devil. Okay, that was one of my Napoleon Hill's, Outwitting the Devil. I have a few, yeah, but it's just been so long. But I was at a point where I was doing so much self-development that I never did the action. I was always thinking I had to learn, but I never applied. Okay. So this is why now, then one day I just turned everything off and I had to take what I learned and just be out there to the world and apply what I learned and learn through mistakes. Okay. One of my favorite lines is from Marshall Silver. His line is fail forward fast. FFF, fail forward fast. Okay. If you do something, fail at it, give yourself permission, learn from those failures fast, and then that's how you grow. Okay. Whether it's called growing pains or whatever it is, you grow. But my whole thing now about business, and I think it's a perfect time to say this, you you have to have a goal, right? Obviously.
Oh my goodness.
Is that you or me? Sheila? Oh, that's okay. Can anybody hear me? Okay, good. So when I came into this business, okay, I looked at the compensation plan, and I think everybody has to have the same probably timeline or goals. Make your first goal. If it's a financial goal, learn how to make $50. $50. How do you do that? You can make $50 by learning how to enroll a silver. You can make $50 by learning how to build a team and cycle, right? Cycle. So my whole goal in the first, right away, I knew, Peter, how do you make $50 a day? A day. And how long did it take you to make that $50? Okay. For example, if it took me 10 hours a week of working, right, to enroll one silver, you take $50 divided by 10 hours. How much did I make 1 hour? $5 an hour, right? Now, the next week, I learned how to make $50 a day times 2. So 2 days I made $50. So that means I made $100 the following week, right? How many hours did I still work? 10. So then I take $100 divided by 10 hours. How much did I make an hour then? $10 an hour. Does that make sense, everyone? Because we're really dealing with the masses who have jobs. So we have to resonate with the job mentality. Okay. Now, this is the kicker. When I learn how to make $50 a day, I do it every day. I got to a point where I was making $350 a week, because remember, $50 times 7 days is $350 a week, right? I still work the same 10 hours. So now I take 350 divided by 10. How much did I make now? $35 an hour. Is that a lot for everyone that has a job? How do you gauge your growth? Again, you have to start with a small number, but keep your hours consistent. Don't work more, don't work less. Keep it consistent, then you can gauge. Now, is everybody ready? What if you get to the point where you're making 1,000 a week now, and you're only still working 10 hours a week? Then you'll be at $100 an hour. Who do you know that makes $100 an hour today? Yes, Judy, I know you. You will. All of us will, right? And then one day you're going to get to 2,000 a week, 3,000 a week, 4,000 a week, with or without you. And that is the aha moment when you have graduated from network marketing, because you truly now have a residual duplication program. You're still working the same hours, but you're making more. This is not like a program where day by day, week by week, year by year, you keep on working 20, 30, 40 hours, 20, 30, 40 hours, and not seeing duplication. If you're in that kind of program, you're lost, because I was in that program many times, okay? That's when you have no growth. But when you can grow by knowing how much hour you work a week, you can gauge your commissionable goals, you divide that together, then you have a gauge, okay? Today, and then when you know how much more value or how much you make an hour, does a lawyer who makes $1,000 an hour deal with a client who cannot afford him? No. If I was a bodybuilder and I took on Judy as my client and I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm charging $100 an hour. If Judy cannot afford me, can I give my time to Judy really in that sense? No, right? So when I give you my time, they're like, oh my God, Peter, you make $1,000 an hour, but you're giving me your hour? Do you think they value my time? Because you value yourself. You build your value into yourself by understanding your own value, your system. And the value here is people. The more people you have, the more money you make. The more money you make, the more you can help more people. And then that's when you're not even in a convincing, you don't have to call people. They will call you. They want to know you, right? Because you have so much value and you're worth so much an hour that people appreciate that hour. And that hour is free. I give my time to anyone here, okay? Anytime. You just call me, text me. Because why? To me now, it's not about how much I make an hour, but it's how many people can I develop now? That is the stage. The money is secondary. But in the beginning, I had to use the money to drive me to know how much value I'm worth to my team, to you, to me, right? And that is where we're at. And I love training this because I want that aha moment where a person that has a job, for example, if I work with this college student and he makes $12 an hour, what would it take for him to understand this when he knows how to make $20 an hour here? So I have to use this calculation to teach them, hey, you put in this many hours, this is what you earn, divide it up. That's how much you're gonna make. But would you like to make more? Then do more, right? That's all you can do, develop more. So do we still have Sheila on the line?
I got back in.
Okay, good.
I was kicked off there as I was chatting about people freezing. So I'm glad that I had made Sandy the co-host because it actually kept you guys all going. So thank you, Peter. You've been able to get a few questions from people, I hope.
Not yet, but I just finished the last question for you. And what we can do is open up for any questions right now.
Okay, so I'm willing. Will you hang in with us for 10 more minutes and we can ask questions of you for 10 minutes?
I got all the time for you.
All right, sweetie. Okay, so hands up if you would like to ask a question or pop it into the chat. And you've got this amazing resource, gentlemen, sitting in front of you right now. Use him. Pick his brain. What questions do you have that he has maybe not already touched on today? Anybody? Nobody's raising their hand.
Okay. I have a question.
Okay.
This is Sophia.
It's exciting.
Hi,
Hey,
Sophia.
Peter, how are you? I have a
Great.
question. When you ask the person, what do you know about stem cells? And they say, well, I don't know anything. How do you proceed with the conversation?
Oh, great. Do you know that we all have stem cells in our body, and the less stem cells you have, the less you can regenerate and repair yourself? So I found a way how to turn on your own stem cells so you can regenerate and repair yourself. Would you like that?
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
And then, yeah, watch the 331 Asher Give More through our videos. And I think we go through quite a few ways how to do it. And that's what I love about this system is there's only a yes and a no, yes and a no. Yes, I know this. No, I don't know this. So you can practice both of those rebuttals really quick.
Okay. Thank you, Peter.
You're welcome.
Joseph and Catherine, you had your hand up. Then we're going to go to Forrest and Death, and that's going to be probably it. And Maria was also someone that was a Maria had their mic off.
I don't really
What's
have
up, Joseph?
I don't really have a question, but I want to resonate with something with you because I've been in sales and marketing, and I really found over time that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, and you can't fake that. I mean, you can't fake that.
Exactly, Catherine. And that's why what do we say here? Learn how to make friends. Friends care about each other, right, Catherine, Joseph? So if they don't know how much of a friend you are, then it doesn't matter what kind of business we're doing. They don't want to work.
Beautiful.
So thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Mr. Forrest, I'd
Hello.
like to say thank you for the help on Saturday. I don't think you were on early when I said it. So thank you.
No, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And it was great to be there, meet everybody. Peter, what a great leader you are. I'm really appreciating all your guidance and your teaching. Question, and I asked this of David over the weekend, which was, now that this weekend was the first time David got back into a live presentation mode since COVID. So he was excited about it. I want to ask you, are you excited? And will you be getting back into live presentations as well?
Really good question, Forrest. Just to let everybody know, my background is actually events. I used to host the biggest events in the last 10 years for all my network marketing companies. I was in charge for all of California. Pretty much, I was the events guy, but I'm also known as the party guy. I also threw the best parties afterwards, and that's how I got everyone together. So
I've been to one.
You've been to one. But Forrest, to answer that question, because we're living in such a different time now, I don't know. I really like the way that we're doing it here in LifeWave, where it's just David, but I just don't know where the future holds on live events the way that we did it before. And the reason why I say that is because of just maybe how regulations are, or maybe how things are right now as far as the fear in the world. So, but am I excited to get back in events? Yes. But now understanding more of the podcast and how to do business online, I'm not really excited about posting and going through all the responsibilities and the setup and all that takes to do an event now. If we're going to do an event, I would like to probably do it once a quarter or once every 6 months, instead of what I used to do is like every month, every week. Do you know how hard it is to get 100 people, 200 people in a hotel room for us? You know that, right?
I do. And so what you've done is you've morphed your business to the new model. And now you're finding it so much better, so much easier. You're thinking maybe you shouldn't go back to the old model.
If we're going to go back to the old model, we're going to do it more exclusive, more purposeful, and in the least amount of with the least amount of responsibilities, meaning not so frequent. But when we do have an event, make it the best event ever. Make it something where people walk away from. Don't, because before, I think the events, it kind of burned out the field. If you have so many events, you put a lot of pressure because distributors have to pay, they have to travel. There's a lot of things involved. And I really feel like that took a lot out and that way of building business. But right now, for us, the way we do this, literally building your business is free now. Free, okay? Events now should be parties, like get-togethers. And I think we're gonna phrase this: build your business online, recognize and get to know each other offline, and party offline. That really should be the thing. If we talk about business, it should be all online. If we have a party, an event, like meeting David, and then afterwards get to know each other, that should be only the messaging, okay? We should not be training at events, meaning have people sit there for 5-10 hours or something, just learning, when you can do that all online. When you are offline, there is no training. Listening to David is hearing his vision, hearing where he's at, touch and feel the CEO, okay? That is really those events, and touch and feel the people. You know, it was a beautiful event. And if anybody was at the Arizona event when I was there with Sharon and Carol, and when we had the Florida event, notice we did not do no training. We just really got together, and we're so excited to see each other because we already know each other online. We recognize each other's faces. And remember, Forrest, there's nothing more to train here that you cannot learn yourself, okay? And I believe that now is the future. And I think this COVID or the lockdown or the whole transition, what we experienced last year, really humbled us down now to really, really appreciate the nuts and bolts, what really matters. And there's a lot of things that we eliminated that does not matter in our industry anymore. And one of the words I like to teach this is, it's called posturing. Posturing. I don't like to posture because we've been taught in this industry how to edify, posture, be somebody that you're not yet, okay? And I've learned it, and I think a lot of the events we used to do for all these companies, it was just to posture, and these companies want you to do it because they want to edify and use that motivation. But I think today there is no more posturing. We're all just real people. We all want the real thing, and you can be yourself where you are and just learn how to become better yourself. So if we're going to posture something, I want you to posture the system. I want you to posture the podcast. I want you to edify the system more than really the people. Look at Onyx. Look how humble she is. She doesn't even care if anybody edifies her. I never even used Onyx for a three-way. I don't use anyone because I don't want our teams to use three-ways. And I hate to say this, if you're using three-ways, great, but make sure you learn how to do a proper three-way. Three-way is not there to convince you to get that person into the business. A three-way is there to make a beautiful connection with someone that you can connect with, resonate with, okay? They're not here to convince. So when you're in a convincing mode, and I really feel that leaders have been put on a pedestal too much, and it burned them out too much because they always were used to edify and posture and do three-ways. And I believe the reason why we are the way we are, because we don't do that here. So, and
Great
events, yeah. So I hope everybody resonated a little bit with that, okay?
Big time. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you, Forrest.
I'm looking forward to meeting you over here on Maui when we get the big party here.
Woo!
Death, we've got one more question for you, Peter. Death's iPhone over here as her hand, or his, I'm not sure. Oops. Sorry, I just accidentally hit mute. I went to lower your hand. Unmute, please, honey. Death, there you go.
Okay, sorry, can you guys hear me?
We can.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you, Sheila, and thank you, Peter, for helping us and supporting us, and you are amazing. When I see that lion picture back of you, that definitely describes who you are. You are definitely aligned with a lion big heart. But my question is this, okay, that I really want to know from our team is that you talk about growing pain can you share with us, like, what would you do differently if you were to go back from the start that you didn't do?
Nothing, because every day was a learning experience that got us to where we are right now. So there's nothing I've done. And again, a death, I gave myself permission to make mistakes for the first 90 days in this business, meaning I made all the mistakes that everybody else did. I signed up the wrong people. I put them on the wrong side. I gave away some people myself that I shouldn't have. Yeah, those are just some of the mistakes. But learning the compensation plan, if everybody read the compensation plan from the company, that's like reading an owner's manual. It was so confusing. We had to learn the comp plan by actually doing it, by going so fast and recruiting and making mistakes and doing it, right? Now, Death, I understand your question on what it takes to build a team. What I want everyone to do, though, is I want you to go back to your past companies or your past life or who you were before and ask yourself this time around. That's actually answering your question. What would you do differently today that you're now in a brand new gym, in a brand new environment with brand new tools, brand new trainers? And what would you do different today, knowing that you're consciously awake now, that you know you've made your mistakes before, and what would you not do today? Challenge yourself that, and then I want you to see the people around you, how they're looking at you now, how they're treating you. What is so different about Death today? What has he learned? What is he not doing today that he did before? Okay. And I think through this call today, you all saw that. Boundaries, being independent, right? Knowing your value, knowing how much you're worth an hour, knowing the numbers you have to work with, the 6 and 2. Those are just little things, or just, those are the exact numbers. If you get that, I believe that you're a brand new person today than you were before in your previous company, in your previous company, in your previous company. And now, and I'll leave it with this, having the right mentor or having someone you respect and can guide you is a big deal here too, okay? Because I've never had a mentor in this industry until I met Onyx, and that is 15 years later. So imagine, what if I met Onyx, which I should have back in Monavie when I was there about 12 years ago. If I had the opportunity to even meet Onyx back then, if I was still there, I think my whole career would have been different. But again, I can't change anything because that was just history and time. We all have our own journey. We all have our own place in time. And you got here today, not because of accident. You really got here because of your mindset, where you are. And that moment that I have that aha moment, you can consciously think that you're here now, then your life starts. And I believe that I was sleeping all my life until now. I was really sleeping. I was sleepwalking my way through life, right? I did so much stuff, and everyone here, look at the faces. I mean, we have so much experience in life people here. And the one thing too here, notice that and be compassionate. We're dealing with people that have a lot of pain. A lot of people that have pain, physical pain all these years, and all of a sudden, this little patch right here takes away that pain. That means everyone here now has a new life or new eyes or new outlook in life, because that pain is gone. Whether you have one pain gone, two pain gone. I mean, some of us have freaking 20 different pains gone now. So that in itself is already a change in your life without even talking about the business, right? So those little things, Death, and, and another thing is, don't beat yourself up too much, okay? Building a team, because a team is just a team of friends, okay? If your team of friends like you, that's your gang, okay? Remember, I have workout gangs, okay? We're all building each other's gangs or community or environment. So
Wow.
I hope that answers your question, Dev.
Yes, yes, you did. But I'm going to ask for one more questions, okay? Even though it's only one question. The second questions I really want to know is that you mentioned about when with customer, you let them get back to us. I've been taught in the previous company that it's in the follow-up. Do we do the follow-up, and how would you do the follow-up with people or distributor that who doesn't do anything?
Well, that's two separate questions. You ask, how do you follow up with a customer, and how do you follow up with a distributor? That's two different people.
Yes.
Right. So now we don't follow, you don't follow, once you have a customer, by the time before they even became a customer, you have to ask them this question. Hey, Dev, are you the type of person that when you find something that helps you so much, are you the type of person that will share that? Or are you the type of person that just keep it to yourself? If you say you keep it to yourself, great. Enjoy this product yourself. Let me show you how to order at wholesale. That's it. If you have any questions, go to the podcast, go listen to other people. And when you have any questions, call me. I only follow up with distributors, partners, because they need the follow-up, because they committed that they are actually the type of person, when they find something they share, they want to share it and they want to get rewarded for it. So I have to help that person. But a customer is not, a customer is just a customer. Now, this is I think one of the things that have been taught wrong, trying to convert and convince the customer to be a distributor. Remember, when I asked you on a date, we already got it in the first sight. A distributor already knows they want to be a distributor. You don't have to convince them to be a distributor.
Thank you. Got it, Peter. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your wisdom.
You're welcome, Death. And if everybody does not know Death, I've got to know him. He's one hard worker, but he works so hard because the programs have been so hard to him. And I really love, he's one of the most coachable guys I'm working with right now. And he's just absorbing everything because he can see and feel the difference here, how we're keeping it so simple. And a lot of the things Death has to go through is he has to go reprogram himself from the old school, the old ways of how we were taught. And I always say this again, everyone, if you work with me, this is a new gym. I look at you in the eyes. This is a new gym, new trainers, new tools, new muscles. Do you want that? Yes or no? If you say yes, forget about everything in the past. That's gone, okay? It got you to where you are today to find us. Now let's create a future now, okay? Because there are thousands and thousands of people that are waiting for you to get this and go save the world, okay? That is the main thing of the main thing. This light technology is going to save the world. At the end of the day, if you're not having fun, if you not feel like you have a purpose-driven direction here, this is not for you, okay? Because Marcy and I told ourselves this. We've been in many programs already together. This is when we looked at each other, we're like, if we're not having fun, if we don't feel a purpose behind this, if the owner, if David Smith himself is not purpose-driven, we don't need to do this, okay? Let's go get a job. Let's go do something else, okay? This is something very special. I believe whoever meets David and whoever meets us and our system, and that's why I posture our podcast, okay? Let the podcast be your pre-qualifier to everything. If they don't get on a podcast, I hate to say it, that means their team is not going to get on. If their team doesn't even get on a little bit, that means there is no duplication. They're doing the old way. And if they have all the time in the world to do it the old way, great. But I'm here to make sure that I like duplication, I like simplicity, I like structure, and we have it all here now. So just enjoy it. Let yourself, again, week by week by week, every 90 days, assess, evaluate, and appreciate yourself where you are, grow from there, become better every 90 days. And then within 1 year, take a look at yourself, where you are, okay? And I can tell you, I'm more healthier today than I was last year. I'm more wealthier today than I was last year. I'm wealthier in finance and I'm wealthier in friends, okay? And my whole network is much wealthier because we are who we are, and that is enough. You can give enough. You're enough, okay? You don't have to do more. Do what this is, okay? And I hope everybody, I really enjoyed this interview today, Sheila. We have such a beautiful team here, and I just love everybody. So thank you, Sheila, for having me here today.
Peter, it has been my pleasure, and I'm certain everyone has enjoyed listening to all of your wealth of information that you give us. And he didn't come out and say this, but I think this is something that was in his head, kind of. Don't ever puke on people when you first meet them, because that's what we did in the beginning. Don't puke. Okay. Just ask them, what do you know about stem cells? I mean, that was one of the most magical, magnificent lines ever created, and it came out of Peter No's mouth, and use it. And then the other really important thing that I really take this to heart: who do you want to hang out with? And that is what Peter, I think you really shared with us, that the importance of, are you going to hang out with somebody that you wish to build the business with, or are you going to hang out with, the street corner kids? It's your choice, everybody. It is your choice. And we are so grateful that we got to have you here, Peter, and that you went extra. And I'm so thankful for everybody that did go a little extra. I lost some people, but I need to get this out. LifeWave is doing a new promotion through the 30th of the month, I believe is the date. Buy 2X39s, get an Eon free. And I will tell you what, I forgot my knee brace the other day when I went and played 18 holes of golf. I slapped an Eon when I got home on that big old swollen left knee, and I'm walking again without that cane. I don't need it. So take care of yourself. Listen to your body. Be heart-centered. Come from love and live in peace. And we shall see you all next week. Mahalo.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. See you tonight.
Thank you.
I love. Thank